Pastor Kevin Kev with my boy Rashad. Preach, Kevin, preach. We are the prophets. What's going on, man?
Bro, we 3 days away, bro. We finna link up, man. 20,
Hey,
2020 been long, man. It's been a
2020
minute
try
since,
to,
been
try
a
to hold
minute
us
since we,
back.
since we really kicked it, man.
They tried 2020 try to hold us back, but no longer, man. Gonna see my guy this weekend. It's gonna be a fun trip. Uh, man, I've been binge watching Last Chance U ever since it came out. So I'm feeling a little motivated right now. Seeing
bro,
guys struggle and stuff.
bro, shout out to Corey, man. Got the big bets going right
Hey,
now.
hey,
Big bets, and then you gonna pop big bottles.
I'm trying to tell you, but I'm on the edge of my seat. I need that free. I need that free money right there. Um, we got a good little show for y'all today, man. So first off, we was trying to like, all right, what should we really talk about? And I think we should address like the NFL season as far like all the guys who started doing the opt out clause, and it started with the Chiefs guard last week. The Chiefs are replacing with Osmond Lee, who for my team, I don't know why we didn't talk to him, pick him up, but he found a home in Kansas City, not a bad spot to go to. But you talking about name after name after name today was dropping all day. What are your initial thoughts on it? And are we gonna see more of this? Are we gonna see the big names? I still don't think the big name guys will drop out. And right now, I guess the biggest name, Patrick Chung,
Yeah,
Hightower,
high tower right now, yeah.
Pierce from the Vikings. That was a big main free agent. So
Yeah, the guy from the Cowboys too backed
um,
out.
yeah, it's kind of like, man, where do we go from here? I understand the health risk and situations about COVID and stuff like that. We see the NBA how they're doing the bubble, and then we see how the Major League Baseball doing, and the Marlins catching the whole damn organization in
Bro,
quarantine right now.
the Marlins are about to ruin the whole scheduling because now people gotta you can't play your games against them. You can't travel to them. They can't travel to you. So they're about to start messing up people's schedule already.
Yeah, so I mean, the league won't shut down for one team. I don't think, but I mean, I guess it's very possible.
But it's possible because you got to think
Yeah,
about all right, whoever you played, people got to come to that same stadium. So it could get a little crazy. It could
but
get crazy.
you would think they would have better control than anybody else because like baseball can be played anywhere, anytime, like, and you can play multiple games in a day. You know what I'm saying? Like it's I mean, it is what it is. They haven't got a good handle on the basketball, how they're doing it, seems to work. The NFL, I don't know. You can
I
go to
don't
a
know,
bubble.
man. Everybody on my boy Lou Will head by going to Magic City, man. That food good, man. What you
That food,
talking about?
yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like I understand the wings are the wings, man. You got to get that.
Yeah, like once you out the bubble, at that point, it's like, well, I'm not
You
gonna go
might
ahead
as
and enjoy.
well, right?
I
You
mean,
might as well. Yeah.
yeah, I left for this reason, but while I'm out, I might as well go ahead and enjoy myself. Get me one last little, not say
Yeah.
cheat meal, but get me one last shebang before I go back to Orlando where y'all feed me
Sack lunch.
sad lunches and stuff. Come on, man.
Hey, for real. So you had like 5 Patriots drop out today. Bolden, like I said, Chung, Hightower, fullback, and then you, like I said, you got the other guys, and the NFL has to, I guess, get a handle on it, but just like it's gonna be hard because you don't know what somebody else is going to do, and you're being around them, and if somebody going to jeopardize, the team could, like, just like Miami, somebody from there went crazy and then brought it to everybody else. It's not like one person, the whole crew is going out and having a good old time and they all catch it. No, somebody's passing to somebody else. Um, do you like this whole like pause the contract thing? I thought it was a pretty good idea, good agreement by both sides, because, like, for example, Pierce just signed a 3-year, $27 million deal with the Vikings, and all because of COVID. Like, let's just say it's like, oh, it's scrapped. Like, that's for both sides. Kind of like, man, I'm out of a job, or I don't waste my resources in this guy. Now I can't have it. Now I have a big hole to fill. Versus like, okay, well, he won't play this year, but I'm gonna have him for the next 3 seasons instead.
Like I don't mind it because we are in a very, very unprecedented time. So you kind of
Right.
gotta make the rules and adjust as you go. So I'm not mad about it. So it's it seems tricky to people. They're like, well, do we get the money back? Like, do we know? Like, people wonder how the cap don't work, but no,
Yeah.
it's just to the next year. You still can go out and sign somebody else to replace this guy. So, I mean, I'm not surprised. they're doing it that way because it's just good faith. This is a weird year. People are concerned about their family, their well being.
Mm-hmm.
They want to wait. I'd rather be cautious than go out there and play, and then you get hurt or get sick and things happen. So you just never really know because these guys, the NFL, I mean, you got 53 active guys. You got so many head coaches, assistant coaches, positional coaches, training staff. Just so many things, so many people involved. And you have like 100 people on the sideline at one time, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be hard to kind of rein in and control everybody. Like, hey, don't do this, don't do that. It's just kind of too hard to manage all that. So you got to think about what some guys may have a ill child, or they may want to still see their grandparents. So once you kind of start these seasons, start these games, certain stuff that you just can't do because you don't want to risk yourself, your loved ones, or your teammates. So
Yeah.
it's just better if you feel uncomfortable and you want to continue living your almost as normal day to day you can live right now. It's better just opt out and come back next year.
So, all right. So, I believe that you do get your cap space for that year because their contract is getting pushed up a year.
It's like a little gap year. That's all.
So what do you think about the guys that because this year has been so like it's so many key free agents like that's out there like Logan Ryan, he was like in the top 100 list. He's still a free agent. We got Clowney, Everson, Griffin, Devontae Freeman. The list goes on. It's a lot of different like big names out there still, and it's kind of like, all right, now that you got the space, I wonder. It's kind of like for guys who did wait, you get to kind of quote unquote win a little bit because now Clowney, instead of going to the Jets who got the money, go to the Patriots. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now it's like your eyes wide open. And for any team that lose a running back, Devonta Freeman, a team that lose a cornerback, you got Logan Ryan, and now you have the cap space to like, all right, I can really bolster my roster real quick just for this 1 year, but I can still do it. Like the Patriots losing 2 starters. Like imagine that you bring Clowney in and whether that tilts the scale a little bit or not, or doesn't, at least you're not left without nothing. I think that could be very crucial in the next coming days and seeing which teams take a risk on what players and does somebody quote unquote like I always say cheat when you see an easy way you gonna take it, which not bad thing. Imagine Clowney pairing up going to the Minnesota, going to New England. Let's say somebody on Baltimore, they got enough cap space. He sits out. He goes to Baltimore. Like it just a lot of like possibilities, and I'm kind of like waiting to see what happens because I think it's gonna be crazy if like a star join another star team.
Well, the dominoes aren't done falling. We're gonna get. I think it's 32 teams. Like I expect every team to get at least 2, if not 3 people that will opt out. So I mean, I think we're looking at least by the time they even try to get it started, we're looking at close to 100 people, if not more than that. And that's not even counting who could get sick later on down the line and have to pull out, get sick during the seasons. Like I'm expecting to get to at least to at minimum 80, probably close to 100 before the season even starts. Though,
If you had to name somebody to a big name to opt out, who do you think that would be? As far as like star power, like I said, right now the biggest name is Hightower and Chung, and they're not really the stars of the league. So do you feel like do you see or do you know anybody you think you wouldn't be surprised if they took it?
well, I mean, it's kind of hard to guess because you don't really know what guys' like family situations is as far as like their kids' health or what priority they're placing on it. But you can always see somebody who's a little bit outspoken or something like that. So I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if you see like somebody who's outspoken, take the opt out. But I don't think it'll be anybody like a Odell or like a Julio or Mike Thomas Hopkins because those guys they're all kind of in there. I want to prove myself kind of mode, but it's certain guys like you could probably see somebody like like a second tier receiver, like an Edelman, something like that. Like, nah, I want to play something like that.
Yeah, I feel I always think like with the star guys in the league is like when you're trying to build a legacy. I understand this situation came up and it's like something we never seen before, but it's kind of like you don't want that you don't want that. I'm not gonna say it's a blemish because everybody understands, but at the end of the day, when we look back 10 years from now, like man, I missed my window because I opt out of this right here. Like any team that's like out there, the Ravens, for example, Lamar Jackson sits out. Now Calais Campbell's a year older.
I don't see any quarterbacks opting out. Every quarterback gonna play.
Yeah, okay, I agree with you. It was a rumor going around Nick Foles that I was like, man, that's the worst thing for Chicago. If that was to happen. But yeah, you're right. I don't see any quarterbacks. I don't see any superstars taking that route. And and it's not to say that the guys who taking the route are like there's something wrong with them. It just like I said, you can't fault anybody for doing it. But at the same time, for a player, it's like, man, he's sitting out. That's a big part of our team. Is our window getting smaller because now the next year everybody's a year older. The breaks won't happen as easy. You got a hard schedule. There's a lot of things that play in the fact. And for guys who do sit out this whole season, like I'm not saying they're gonna lose their spot. Like Eddie Goldman, he's a great D tackle for the Bears, and that defense won't be as good this year. So it's like, okay, for the guys who not had that pause contract, now it's like we're losing, the Khalil Mack. We're gonna lose other guys a year earlier while we still have Goldman. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I wonder how that also going to go through like each franchise, like the owners and the GM, how they address that, because you can't really fault any coach for this season. And I don't see. I thought like Patricia was on this hot seat, Dan Quinn, but can you really fault him if God?
Yeah, they still are.
You think so? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I don't care what the circumstances are. If they start out 2-6, they getting fired.
But it's gonna be you had that excuse as a coach though, is to like be like,
nah, we got past history with it to see this ain't going in the right direction. It's time to move on. It's time to move on.
All right. Let's say I know we said the quarterback is going out, but let's say Stafford does say I'm opting out. Like, can we really fire Patricia? 0-8.
I mean, under that circumstance, and no, because even though your quarterback is out, how are you managing the locker room? Is the team still getting better on a day-to-day stuff like that? So like you can still gauge a coach by other measurables. Like somebody from the Lions who I could see probably sitting out though. Like I can see like Marvin Jones maybe sitting out because he had a terrible tragedy in his family and stuff like that. So football could be his outlet. He probably want to play. But I can see a guy like Marvin Jones being like, you know what? After everything we've been through this year, I'm gonna just sit out.
Yeah, makes sense. I like you said, the dominoes hasn't stopped, and this morning I was like, Patriots. It was like the back to back, and I was like, man, are the Patriots trying to tell us something? But then you start seeing every other teams coming in with their guys. I was like, maybe the Patriots released all at one time, and had you thinking, for example, somebody was like, "Oh, so they're gonna tank for Trevor Lawrence?" I was like, "Come on, now.
Might as well."
I mean, this the best year to do it, right? But I think with training camp starting away, what I do like about this whole CBA thing, it does prevent holdouts. Like you can't hold out this year, so like
you got to show up.
Dalvin Cook, Joey Bosa has been rumored. They got to show up, and you can't pause it because. Whatever you're making this year, you're going to go next year. So you be hold out next year. So it's kind of like you have a little leverage, I guess. You can not show up and then like they play without you. And then you hold out next season, be like, see, look, y'all did bad without me. Or taking a risk and they do well without you. You know what I'm saying? So you can't as a player, you can't take that risk.
Yeah, it's just one of those outlier years, man. Like it's one of those crazy years, like where it's gonna probably be like the NBA if so many guys start to opt out or so many guys start to get sick. People gonna start saying, "Well, it's the asterisk beside the ring," all that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't care what nobody say. The Cowboys gonna win the Super Bowl. I'm not a Cowboys fan, but Cowboys gonna win the Super Bowl, and Dak can get no credit for it. They're gonna be like, "Well, Dak only won because it was COVID." Like, bro, that's how the league go. Every league like that. LeBron only won because of COVID. Kawhi only won because of COVID. Yeah. Giannis only won because of COVID. Like people gonna start saying all kind of silly stuff. Like they still play the doggone games.
Yeah, I'm about to say shout out to Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers said if you have to use that, you a loser. Like if you saying that's a reason why somebody won, and he said if you have to use like "Oh, is this season an asterisk?" And he called you a loser, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm right there with you because, like you said before, you can go to any season and make it an asterisk. You can pinpoint something and say, well,
People get hurt all the time, or
exactly. Like you don't win the championship if Kevin Durant don't tear his Achilles. Raptors, stuff like that. So it's kind of like, oh,
trades get blocked, all kind of silly
oh yeah,
stuff, man. So I mean,
yeah,
every little, even it's been a little small little salary cap changes throughout the NBA they have made or allowed certain things to happen. Like people don't know stuff like, okay, well, the NBA salary cap adjusted, and that's how Shaq ended up going to LA. Like if it didn't get adjusted, he could still be stuck in Orlando. Like it's just smaller stuff that people just
yeah.
kind of forget along the way. Like if the cap didn't get adjusted, KD couldn't go to the Warriors. Like it's little smaller things that just happen along the way, and that's how it works out.
And we can't put an asterisk on everything. So, and I saw somebody posted in this little Vikings chat. They said this will be the year where Vikings win the Super Bowl in the COVID era, where everybody, all key players are out, and they finally get one as a franchise. I was like, man, y'all funny for that. After they had Kirk Cousins like holding up a trophy, I was like, man, they like you say about the Dak situation, like Cowboys gonna win the Super Bowl, and Dak wins Super Bowl MVP. Oh, you only got it because the Patriots lost Patrick Chung and Hightower, or the Bears didn't have Eddie Goldman, the Packers didn't have Devin Funchess. You can go down the list all you want, and I don't think it's an asterisk. It is what it is. I mean, the season got to go on. You got to play the games. So
It's like this is one of those years where I just expect the big brands to win the titles because you need a storyline. And I mean, the sports universe always works in that weird way where when you need a big headline to kind of carry you through like a downtime, that's when it happens. Like basketball was kind of it's always been popular, but it was kind of like in a down period when the Pistons won the title and then the Spurs won '05. And then '06 the Heat. No, people were still into basketball, but it was going through that period of trying to create that real next star. Because Kobe had his stuff going on, Shaq was kind of going down at that point and stuff like that. So what you get Boston, LA, and reignite the whole NBA. You got Kobe redemption story, and then you get LeBron's decision, all that kind of stuff, and you just kind of paved the way for the next couple of years. So every time you need something to kind of shake it up and reignite that flame, it's always something like that. So it wouldn't surprise me if basketball, the Lakers won a title or something like that. It wouldn't surprise me if something crazy happened in the NFL and the Cowboys. The Cowboys are the only team that's from the old era that really hadn't been back in so long. Like the 49ers they lost both of them to Baltimore and Chiefs, but 49ers been back twice. Steelers put up 2 with Big Ben. Green Bay got 1 with Aaron Rodgers. So the Giants won 2 over the Patriots. The Patriots, of course, ran the last 2 decades. So all these staple franchises have kind of all been going up except for the Cowboys. So it could just be their time to go ahead and get one.
Switching over to basketball. So the NBA bubble, I think the first game start Thursday. So I'm kind of excited for that. That's gonna be a great doubleheader. Start the season off. I think Davis may not play because of the eye situation. But is there a team?
It's always something wrong with Davis, bro. I love AD, but it's always something wrong with my guy.
Man be having a
man need hit mask and goggles like Kareem.
He might as well. He got the Lakers jersey in the match, so it's all good. Who was you got at least a lot of guys like ball so far, and you seen the Grizzlies play great today. Who do you think is going to surprise us during this stretch of the bubble? I guess I want to say before the season start and before the playoffs start. Like I can see a couple teams, but it's like if they make that push, they have a real big chance of winning the championship.
A surprise team? Oh man, I'm kind of leaning. Depending how the seeding shakes out, you gotta say that for the West. Probably the Mavs, man. Like they're a young team. Porzingis got some more rest. Doncic he's Doncic, so I mean, top. I think he's a top 3 MVP guy this year. So between a young team like that, Seth Curry, he can shoot the lights out. Tim Hardaway Jr. shoot the lights out. I think the Mavs, if they can kind of just draw a certain matchup, they could probably at least make second round, and depending upon how that shakes out, they could make West Finals. I know a lot of people are leaning Denver because of Ball's versatility, Jokic versatility.
Mm.
I love Michael Porter Jr. his skill set. So people are leaning Denver, but I would lean the Mavs just because of they've already kind of caught so many people off guard so far. Why not in the playoffs too?
Yeah. I would lean, and we talked about this before, the Sixers, because I think I'm always ride with the best player in the East. I'm gonna go with that. I love Toronto. I think they have everything you need to win a championship. And then of course you got the Boston team that's been here before. They got deep as young, and then they kept getting better and better every year. So at some point they're gonna break through. But you got Kemba Walker's injury right now, so you don't really know. But the reason I say the Sixers is because we both said it last week. We both think they need to value the space, and with Embiid being healthy now, Ben Simmons being healthy now, you got a bunch of guys right before the COVID happened, like Glenn Robinson's, Alec Burks, bringing in Korkmaz. You got all these guys on the wings now, and with Ben Simmons playing at the level he's playing, whereas you're talking about not only are you the best passer in the NBA, but you can be the best defender. Like you right up there with the Giannis and Davis for defense player of the year. I would go at least top 5 in the finish for that. With Embiid, who's the top 10 player, you got veteran in Al Horford, and Tobias going to bring what he brings. It's like if everything work out, I think right now they're the 4 seed or 5 seed. But if they can, I think they just need to avoid Milwaukee as long as they can. But if they can get 2 or 3 and then see Milwaukee in the conference finals, when you done beat your first round matchup, you face Toronto or Boston, and you beat them, because the whole Boston time it was losing to them, it was because they didn't have no closer. And now that you got Tobias and Embiid and Ben Simmons has been getting I won't say better and better, but like as far as like more mature and things like that nature, you got guys who can put the ball in the basket now, and you're not relying on JJ Redick to go make a play. You got more guys who can make a play. That was their weakness. So if they get there, see Bucks in that conference finals, I think that's the best path for them to win, and I wouldn't be shocked about it not one bit.
Yeah, coming into the season, I had them making the finals, but of course, a lot of stuff was happening this year, so you kind of can start tearing up predictions. But I would love for Philly to make the finals, but I would go the opposite way. I would say they want to catch Milwaukee early. That way,
So.
because teams are kind of still trying to find rhythm. Chemistry can fade fast, so you want to try to catch them when, all right, maybe this guy hasn't really started hitting from 3 like that yet. Maybe he's trying to find his edge, or maybe you're still kind of tweaking some lineup stuff like that. If you can kind of get out of your first round series in 4 or 5, well, they probably sweep, but 5 or 6 games, get to the second round, and Milwaukee will be probably sweep whoever they play, and then they got to rest again. So they'll be trying to rebuild, get your endurance back up, get your chemistry back going again. You might want to catch them off of something like that. So then while you're still in rhythm, they're trying to find it again, and you can get lucky and get up 2-0. There won't be any home court advantage or disadvantage. So no traveling. So MB's back and knees, all that kind of stuff can, he can be okay. So I think they should try to catch him early.
And I think that's going to be the crazy thing. Like, this is probably going to be the best time, like where that leadership comes out from different teams. So like, I wouldn't be shocked if OKC go far because of Chris Paul. And like
they better not, man. They already cost me $100.
Hey, that's funny. But hey, think about it though. Like there's like you said, there's no home court advantage. So it's not like these young. You can't use that they're young excuse. Like really, because like you played this yesterday, you played the day before. Like you've been here. It's the same court as this during the scrimmage and all that stuff like that. So there's no okay, now we're going to Rose, or this is a big game, or it's game 3. I mean, you got to treat it as the same thing, and maybe they mindset might not be that way, but with a guy like Chris Paul that leading the ship, or LeBron leading the ship in LA, you have these strong leaders, and I think that's what's going to play a big part in this, because you can kind of like this. No, I don't want to say discredit, but like the role players on the road, you know how that comes up, or the rookies.
Yeah, they're gonna be real good or real bad. But they ought to play better at home because you slept in your own bed. You probably had your shift. You got to have to do your routine for the same drive to the gym and get your shots up, all that kind of stuff. So, or if you're traveling to Atlanta, you got to hit Magic City. You're traveling to Houston, you go to Houston, you got to get it in. Or if you go to New York, you kind of got to get it in. LA, it's just certain. Miami, like, man, it's just certain spots when you travel to them, you know what kind of night it's gonna be.
Right. So so you can't use those excuse. Is there anything that's going you think is going to disappoint the people?
Potentially, it could be Philly, or it could be Houston. But I like Houston, but I think it still could be them just because of. Man, it's just a weird thing. Like they don't have any size, man. And at some point, you gotta run it. You're gonna run into somebody with a big that you just can't stop. Yeah. Now, granted, they gotta stop your style too. And I think Houston can make a big push. But I mean, I think they're one of the top 4 or 5 betting favorites. I think it's like LA, Milwaukee, and then Houston. I mean, it's good if you bet them. It's good money you can win. And I would throw a little something on them because I think they got a long shot. But I mean, they could go out first round potentially.
And I think it's going to be about about matchups, and like they get Denver. I don't know if they could beat them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they could disappoint because they have. I always try to avoid those wide range of outcome teams. So because we don't know how the game's going to play out. So what if Houston does fall to 6 seed, 7 seed? Now you're getting a tougher matchup all throughout.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's the problem with the Rockets, and because when you only have one style of play, I think that's really detrimental. Like you don't want to be a one trick pony. Like you want to be able to just in football, you want to run the ball or pass the ball. If you have to do a shootout, you need to be able to do it. If you have to play great defense the whole time, you have to do it. I think in basketball is the same way. Like, yeah, we can play this run and gun style, but can we slow the game down, play this half court offense? And because you're gonna have to switch it up based on the styles, and you play a Denver Nuggets team, they're not gonna be trying to run up down the court. Now, if you can get them to do that track meet, hey, you got an advantage, you can win. But maybe OKC, that's the team you want to play, or the Lakers, because that's a team that want to get up and down and push. So, but it's like, okay, you run into the Lakers, you got Davis, you run into the Denver Nuggets, Jokic and Ball down there, Millsap even. You run into who else you got? You run into the Mavs. There's no answer for KP down there. Like not one. Imagine you seeing PJ
Tucker and Rocco, man. They're gonna have their hands full.
See, that's and like it's really not even the fact that you need a big. You just need somebody who can play tough. Because think about the Warriors back in the day before they became the Warriors that we know now with Steven Jackson, Matt Barnes, and Baron Davis.
We believe.
We believe team. Al Hansen was playing center 6'10", 6'11".
Guess y'all mean
right, and then y'all mean 7'5". So
there wasn't need therapy in that day.
I mean, outside of the Yao Mings of the world and the Shaqs of the world, he was, you're fine at 6'10", 6'11". But when your biggest player is 6'6" and Rocco is 6'7", 6'8", I mean, yeah, no matter how great Russ and Harden going to be, you're gonna have to rebound. Like you're gonna have to crash them glass. And the motor for Russ is great. The motor for Tucker is great, but at the same time, how you gonna get these rebounds? And if that one style catch up to him, which has been Mike D'Antoni's downfall, his whole coaching career, where he can do everything to get here and then fall flat on his butt. So I can agree with you that can be a disappointing team if it shakes out the right way.
And real quick on Philly too, I think they could disappoint because if they get stuck in that 4 or 5, Miami could take them out first round. So that's why I think the teams with a wide range of outcomes of you could make your conference finals, potentially the finals, depending upon your matchups, or you could go out first round. I think those two have to be at the top of the list because Milwaukee doesn't really have any first round bust potential. Like they should easily skate out, and so should Toronto and Boston. Like all 3 of those should get out the first round pretty comfortably.
Pacers lost a bonus. Depot not the guy who he is. So yes, if you get the 2 or 3 seed, you pretty much go and walk to the next round.
Yeah. So to me, I think just that because even the Miami lost first round, nobody's thinking Miami's gonna win the title or had into the season coming in thinking oh, Miami could be a problem like that. They were kind of like a surprise of the year. So I think Philly and Houston are the two main teams that could disappoint this year.
You know what team I'm adding there, and it's kind of probably gonna be shocking, I guess, is I might add the Clippers in there, just because I think the Clippers to me are the only team that can beat the Lakers, right? In the West, I think in a series, they can only really give the Lakers the problems. I would even say second would be Portland because they can't guard the guard position. But as far as the rest of the West, I think the Lakers pretty much even on that. But the Clippers, they can lose to other teams. Like, I mean, obviously, they're the 2 seed, which they cannot be the 2 seed. It's possible they be 3 or 4.
They can fall down 3 or 4. Yeah.
So it's like if they don't come correct, like, and they disappoint, they could be a 4 or 5 seed, and you're talking about playing a Rocket team, and you don't want to have to go through the Rockets, go through go through the Rockets, go through the Mavs, and then see the Lakers. Like, you want to have this easy road where you're playing who would be the 7 seed.
You only want 1 or 2 tough matches.
Yeah, right.
Like at most 2. You hoping you can avoid that. You hoping
right.
you can kind of get that.
You can't really duck the West.
Lakers gonna probably get the 1, so they're gonna get Blazers, Pelicans, or Grizz. So they got cakewalk, and you're hoping at the 7th spot, maybe it's a Utah or maybe it's a OKC, a team, or even Dallas, like a somewhat of a bad matchup for you. So you're hoping you can kind of get something like that, but you're not trying to get Houston first round. I mean, you ain't trying to get Denver first round. Like, there's certain stuff you're trying to avoid.
Yeah, and like I'm not saying Clippers will lose a series, but it's like if Kawhi and Paul George, like, I feel like the Clippers got a lot of people, and somebody got to sit down, and you don't know how chemistry really gonna work in this situation, but yeah, you talking about guys you can't do the rest thing, you can't do the whole what's it called, the movement Kawhi be sitting there, what's it called?
It's like load management.
Load management, yeah. You can't be doing load management anymore. Like, and so are we gonna see the Lou Wills play 35 minutes and all these guys, be effective? Reggie Jackson, who just came aboard, so they could disappoint, and I wouldn't be shocked. But if they see the Lakers, I think they're the biggest threat to the Lakers. But I feel like they can be threatened by every other team outside of maybe Utah. I think if they get Utah first round, they're fine.
Yeah, Utah, OKC, like that.
Okay, to a point though, because like,
man, those wings gonna slow down Chris Paul and Schroeder them, man. That'll be a 5-game series.
You think? I get what you're saying.
Chris Paul gonna get you 1. He gonna get you 1.
I think it's gonna come down to the last. I think 2 or 3 of them games coming down to the wire, like, where it's like, because you got Gallinari. You can say what you want about him, but that's a 20-point scorer. Like, any given night, you got the 3 guards, and you got Adams, who's gonna be a big body down there. So, I get what you're saying, but I think it's gonna be a closer series, but a 5.
Yeah, it could be tough just because of when you have a floor general like Chris Paul, an up and coming guy like Shea, and Schroeder with his just somewhat veteran savvy. Those guys know how to control the game, manipulate the clock, kind of can muck it up a little bit, or Chris Paul, he'll dribble the air at the ball so he find just that one good shot. And then those guys making those little smaller shots like that, it'll keep the game close at all times. So I can see how it could be a 102, 98, 99 type of game every time.
Yeah, and no, I said I think Utah I like Utah. I think Quinn Snyder is one of the best coaches.
Phenomenal coach.
Phenomenal. I think I just don't think his like I don't think that style with the players he got, like, where it's like,
dude, they already missing both bonds. So I mean, you missing the offensive 17 to 20 points right there. So you already at a disadvantage.
I'm about to say, man, he didn't come because Donovan and then Conley being a disappointment. That kind of went the other way that they thought was going to happen. Because, like, you think about it, I'm a Rubio guy. Talking about a guy who can change. He not gonna change your culture, but he definitely, when he comes a pass first guy who can play defense and all that. That's why I like Rubio. But they went to Conley, and think it's going to be a boost, and it's not. It's not really panning out.
Yeah, they're veteran savvy. He's a vet, well traveled, well rounded skill set guy. But they kind of just got him on the back end, and he's been a letdown.
All right, so Utah, I think Utah has a. I don't know. I just don't feel like if they win a game, like I think they match up really. I think they match up good versus they can match up with the OKC. They can match up with the Mavs, but I don't see them any matchup getting out the first round. Like
Utah, Utah.
But they're great. Yeah, like I said, they're great. I think
they're very stable, very stable franchise. Always gonna win 47 to 50 something games, being in playoffs, and kind of see how it shakes out. But yeah, they're stable, but there's no way they got the first round. They'll need an epic collapse by somebody to get the first round.
Hey, I'm checking out these bets as they go. Right. So Cubs done.
What we got?
Brewers up 5-2. Oh yeah. Your boy, and they're in the top of the 7th right now, I think. So it's looking real good. Oh, 6-2. So, hey, shout out to Brewers, man, because I needed that. Shout out to my boy Corey for the tips on that one. I should be racking in. As long as Brewers don't blow it in the next inning and a half, I should be good. So shout out to Bets on Rap because I needed that. Trust me. Drink some this weekend, Sean.
Oh yeah, man. It's always shout out to Corey, man. Corey been hitting on those picks lately, man. He on a hot streak.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Corey, man. Shout out to Unwrap as well. That's all the time we got for the day. Hey, like I said, drinks on me. Shout out to the Brewers, shout out to the Cubs, shout out to the Rays, man. I needed that. Where we going this weekend? I don't know,
man,
but
somewhere. Look. We can't be bragging about that in this time, man. People sense about going out
That's
places. We're gonna be masked up.
Masked up always, man. You leave the house, it's on immediately, man. Make sure y'all stay safe. Wear your mask. You must wear your mask. I feel like we're the only country that don't want to do that.
Bro, we sorry. Everybody else out here having real sporting events, living a regular life again. We over here just. We can't even get it figured out. We can't even get our cases down in one state.
I was gonna say baseball lasted 1 week before they had a catastrophe.
Man, the Marlins got as many cases as some countries. Like, come on, man.
We got to do better as a people. We got to do better because I don't understand why it's so hard. Like, I try to at work. Sometimes I be outside so I can understand. Sometimes if I'm by myself. I think coming off. I ain't really messing with it like around people, especially outside in the sun. But if somebody come around, that thing going right back on. You too close. Hey, let's back it up. We ain't trying to spread nothing around here. So you're right. We suck,
man. Bro, man, they gotta change the name from USA to DSA. We are the divided states of America, bro. Ain't nobody operating as a unit. Everybody doing their own thing. Everybody got their own rules. You got mayors and governors fighting each other. You got everybody doing it. You got the president saying this. You got the doctor saying this. You got, everybody.
CDC saying something else.
CDC doing this. I mean, you got restaurants saying this. You got the grocery store saying it's cool if you do it, cool if you don't. Like everybody got their own system. It's like
we can't get on. Get on accord.
Yeah, it's like, so what are we really doing, man? Like we can't even figure out one simple rule: mask on or mask off. Shout out the future. I mean, what are we doing? Mask on or mask off?
Man, I even saw a little doctor going crazy today. I was like, I don't know if she got the cure or not. I mean, she's talking like she got a good game, but we don't know. I don't know what's going on. So I just advise everybody to keep wearing their mask because
she better be quiet for a conspiracy theory to pop up.
Exactly. That's all I worry about. I don't
want to make light of it, but she better be quiet for a conspiracy theory to pop up. People don't like it when this kind of stuff happen right here, man.
You talk about money? Oh yeah, they ain't. You're not messing with that. So so we already had a baseball catastrophe. Basketball still doing right. Hopefully, WNBA they started off, and the NFL I even saw the reports about the NBA going to probably do the bubble again next year. So it's we a long way for what we
need. They will not vote for that next year.
You don't think so?
I mean, unless it's very, very bad.
Owners gonna lose.
I guarantee you, nobody will vote for this 2 years in a row. The players ain't gonna vote for it. The owners definitely gonna have it. Not 2 years in a row.
And I'll say what I said last time. I don't think it's going nowhere forever. So you might as well just go ahead and get used to it. Like you might as well go get you the decorative mask because that's gonna be like if that's gonna be part of the fit. Like you got the nice shoes, you gotta have a nice mask with it too. So I think that's what it's gonna be, and that's the coaches how they're gonna change it. So maybe once we make it a culture thing, and people start trying to steal it, and then they wear the mask. That's what it is.
Man, divided states of America.
All right, man. Priest with Rashad. We